Hey guys, Dallas here. So today I want to talk with you about how to get a kiddo ready for writing or pre-writing who has level 3 autism. So the first kind of kiddo I want to talk about are those kids who are constantly stimming, like non-stop on their hands, and they are just super motivated by that stim, and they may not use their hands at all functionally except to maybe eat or drink. But a lot of times once they've done that, they've taken a bite or they've drank something, they'll just toss it, like it out of sight, out of mind. And I would say those kids are the toughest to work with, only because they are so motivated by doing this, and how do you take that away when they can do that at all times? So that's a really, they're kind of tough. So what I do with them is that I just start with trying to get them to not stim so much. So we just do small increments, just seconds of them either not stimming or them using their hand functionally, and that might even be hand over hand assistance. And then I grade it, so I either give them less physical assistance or I increase the amount of time that they're doing it. And ideally you would try to find an alternative motivator that they really like. A lot of times there's some one other thing that they may enjoy that you can use to convince them to work with you on that, and that's where I would go for them. The next thing I would tell you is for kids who aren't writing yet or even developing pre-writing skills yet, so they're not holding a pencil or a marker or whatever and trying to make strokes or scribble, is to get them to use their hands as much as possible in as many tasks as possible. So you want to build that fine motor strength, you want to build that bilateral coordination, which means using two hands together, and you want to develop that dexterity, so being able to use all their fingers separately. And so there are a million tasks that you can do. You can stack things. Bristle blocks are great. Having them, bristles or Legos, stick those things together and pull them apart. Great strengthening activity. Things that require you to pinch, like put pegs, even a large or a small peg into a pegboard. Those also all require, the pegboard requires good visual attention, which is a huge area that a lot of our kiddos struggle with. So I also love doing the shape sorter. I start with giving them a circle, especially if they don't have visual attention yet. This is kind of how I develop it, is I give them the most basic shape, and I cover everything else up on the shape sorter except for the circle hole, and I just point to it like repeatedly, like very rigorously, like put in to the circle. They've got the circle, and I might even give them some physical assistance to get them there. And so I develop that, and once they can get a shape sorter, all of the shapes, so you start with the circle with just one hole, and then you open it up to more holes, and then all the holes, and they can get that circle in consistently. Then you do other shapes, and once they can do all those complex shapes, they're really showing you that they have the visual attention, the visual motor skills. They can perceptually like rotate it in their mind to figure out how it goes in there. So that's when I know that, like, yeah, I can probably start hitting pre-writing strokes at that point. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comments below.